Hey everyone, Dr. Eve here. Hope all is well. It is certainly a good day to be amongst the land of the living. Wow, what a day it's been. I am just getting back from a field trip. A field trip that I took with AI today, and it was the most amazing experience that I've had in a while because I used AI as an assistant, and it really is a very powerful tool when used correctly, right? Because it has access to so much information that we can use as it relates to our journey. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Eve, and here on my channel, we talk about all things sustainable living and building a strong home economy from the soil up. I am a big proponent of, you know, never giving up and never completely relying on the system to do what we ourselves have the ability to do. And so I'm of the old school. I grew up with biscuits and dinner time and dinner bells, and family around the table, in by a certain time. There weren't no devices, like where I grew up, when I grew up, right? So we all come from some place, right? And depending on who you are, what age you are, what generation you are, you too have a story. And so I went on this field trip. I woke up this morning completely inspired to do something different, right? I wanted to do something different because I am more than growing food, right? I literally am so much bigger than just growing food, and so I wanted to talk about how this trip and the journey and my conversation with AI, how it helped me to map a plan, to really think about next steps, like quietly, like the way I want to show up, easy, and with all the tools that I need to do that. And so, um, growing food, number one, we know that for everything, no matter what you're doing on this channel right here on YouTube, you are creating content. You have a vision, a mission, a vision, and a value, and values. My mission is to help people build a strong home economy from the soil up so we have less government, right? That is a goal to build food security, home security, to build stronger families, all of the things that will help us to move toward, to be more independent and to move towards sovereignty, right? So, with that said, I began to ask AI some questions about, content because I, am not interested in, I'm sorry, something has bit me. I'm not interested in just, showing up here and posting content, but I want to post relevant content that people, you know, find relative and they want and need, right? To help them, um, to address some of the situations that are going on in our current climate. So, what the vision is building our own economy, is building our own economy. That is equivalent to growing food, which equals wealth plus resilience. It equals growing food equals wealth plus resilience because with every seed you sow, with every plant you grow, you move closer to resilience, right? Because you don't have to go to the market for that particular item. So those are some of the things that I want us to begin to think about. Economy isn't out there. It's right at home. Economy is not out there somewhere. It is right at home. It begins with us and it ends with us. how we spend our money, how we think about our money, how we, yeah, all the things, how we spend it, how we earn it, how we spend it, and how we think about it, right? Those are very important skills to have. Hello there, Miles. And so as I began to ask AI questions, about my content, AI sent me on a journey, sent me out there. I said, well, what kind of pictures would match, the message and the vision and the values? And I will walk through that with you all at some point. And if you would like to, kind of get a glimpse into what I asked AI to help me on my field trip today, just connect with me on my hub, because I'm going to be doing a special class free of charge on the things that I asked AI, that helped me on my field trip for my marketing strategy, because there were things that I didn't think about, like, not, I have lots and lots of content, but what kind of content do I need to build out the mission, vision, and value of what I am trying to deliver? So that was very important. So today's trip showed me, it gave me reflections, like growing your own economy, like how to take pictures, what pictures to take, how to group pictures, what to overlay. I just kept asking lots. We were like buds today. We were like friends. It's like, hey, well, how would you? Like, my question was always, they would AI would give me some information, and I would just ask another question, because of course I have been an entrepreneur for many, many, many years, since 2001. What's that? Almost 30 years. It's 2025, so almost 25 years. So that's a long time, right? Sorry, the mosquitoes are out here, y'all. And it just rained, so I gotta really watch them out here. So at any rate, it sent me on a field trip to Tractor Supply, to the I went, so I told, I said, I'm headed to Lowe's. What kind of pictures do you think I should take at Lowe's, right? Because we're talking brand. We're talking, what fits, and AI already knows what fits, what my mission, vision, and values are, because it's been studying me. It's all about the things that I do, and the things that I care about, and the things and the way in which I like to show up to help others. It already knows those things because I have a lot of content all around this here internet, and I've been on this internet since 1990. You can't erase yourself from the internet. You are out there, right? Thank you so much, Nira. So anyway, in the vision, the part of our building our own economy, the vision really is really important for you to to point out. So then we went to the content as currency, because when we come here, even this video, I asked AI. I said, okay, AI, this is not my normal video, right? Yes, I'm a talking head. I love to sit and come to talk with people, but I want it to be a little more structured as a not new content, because I've been over here 11 years and I haven't really paid attention to, strategy for YouTube. I just be uploading content, 800 something videos, and I just, never really thought about, okay, well, I need to get some subscribers, or I need to build a relationship. Well, you need to do that on any platform, but I was on all the platforms. And what I'm realizing now is that I do have to chase a rabbit. One, just one. And as I'm chasing that particular rabbit, or not necessarily chasing, but showing up in my honest and authentic self, deciding what's good for me in this season, because we are always in new seasons of our lives. I have retired from some of the ways that I showed up, in the past 5-6 decades, right? Because I am leaning more into a softer era, a more purposeful era, with more wisdom about the ways in which, how did I get here? How did I get here? And then how, and what ways can I tell my story, and the way that God has, what God has done for me. Hey there, I'm Dr. Eve. Nice to meet you, Aussie. So if you're saying Naima was my daughter. um, anyway, so it had me to pull out my phone, prove, teach, and teach, and teach. It taught me marketing. It literally taught me marketing, and that content is. And I'm actually noting the outline that it gave me for this video. It said, okay, you're not having a normal conversation. You're going to tell them that you're more than growing your economy. You are more than growing in your garden. You have been a business owner for many, many years. You are a life blogger, you know, and you can make money. And you are an agribusiness in this season, right? Because I show up as a social entrepreneur. So some of the highlight, it gave me highlight or bullet points, right? Because I asked it to. Why? Because I'm not a script person. Don't give me scripts because I'm going to fail the script. I'm going to fail the script for real. If you ask me to interject, you know, no. No, don't give me, well, maybe you should just give me some talking points so I can stay on track, because I will be all over the place, batting 1,000, and I'm only supposed to be on one journey right now, and that's to tell you the reflections of my field trip with AI today. So I'm very centered in that. So it had me take pictures of, you know, my vegetables, vegetable packets, tools and gloves. Had me take pictures of containers and, you know, soils and, you know, all the things, because those are the things that I use in my garden. But how we will use those photos will look a lot different. And I love that for me. Thank you. Yes, and we are learning, right? AI is an amazing tool. I use it in my research every day. And so to use it in, you know, elevating my marketing skills, which in my opinion absolutely suck, right? Because because I advertise, but I am not a marketing guru, right? I'm not a marketing guru, and I do what I do. But I'm open for learning and, you know, trial and error. I didn't run a successful. I didn't get to be a successful business owner by just doing everything wrong. I am very inquisitive, ask a lot of questions, and I'm always open to learning. So I'm always learning. But things are changing so rapidly. And because it's changing so rapidly, what worked, you know, 10 years ago does not work today. It's like, right? And the audiences are, and they like, don't want to hear what you got to say, right? Need to, right. So it had me taking all these pictures, and what we're going to be doing as I roll these out, you will be seeing more storytelling as a part of agribusiness, right? Having this reflection of what was it like to, you know, for me to pivot, you know, when did it begin? I started pivoting in 2020, you know, when we were sent home and, you know, didn't know where our food sources. Another moment in time, in when there was a public distrust of government, right? And we had every reason to feel that way. So right, I can't. It's hard to keep up, but you have to. So I'm using AI because AI is a way to help you, you know, gain leverage your ability to stay up, right? Because otherwise, doing it the old way may take me a week when in essence it takes AI 5 minutes, right? So why wouldn't I want to use it as a tool in my business? Now, I am not trying to use AI in a way that I think it's so powerful that um, it will corrupt some things. But I'm going to use it to the advantage of, okay, well, then, if this is the best picture, tell me why. I need to understand your rationale behind it, you know, and if so, what do I overlay over that? You know, I'm very, very curious and inquisitive about my approach to utilizing it and it not utilizing me. Do I make myself clear that I use it and it not use me, right? So it is a tool, and we are to use it just like I use it for research, right? So you can use it to tell stories, and in my case, I will tell stories about my growing a home economy from the soil up as an agribusiness, because I also sell. Like, I listen, if I don't come and show you how, if I'm not an authority in the area of agribusiness and growing food from the soil up, how what can I tell you about it as a business owner, right? Why would you believe me as an authority, right? So it's really, really important that you position yourself as an authority. And my skills and my experience came from a place of, understanding that there were only three times in history where people went back to the land since I've been living. In the 1960s, when after the Vietnam War, when our soldiers were, not respected or mistreated, and there was this mistrust. I was in that era. I was born in that era. Okay, then there was climate control in the 90s, when environmental concerns, environmental justice about climate control, which we see in the need to go back to green. To take care of our land, to not harm the land, because the land is there to give to us, and we are to take care of it. We are to be good stewards over it. Our Father tells us that we are to be good stewards over the land. And then finally, the third time, which this is my why. I have done my research. I know and lived these eras. So with that said, agriculture has been a big part of my life. When I started my first business, I was working with young children, teaching them about service and agriculture through 4-H. 4-H is all about agriculture. Oftentimes we don't even see that word as an intricate part of our daily lives. Our food comes from there. Our clothing comes from textiles. The jewels that come, metals come from the earth. All of it's intertwined. All of it is agriculture, and so we are moving in the direction of how do we be good stewards over all of these things so that we are not bringing harm to ourselves. And how do I grow in this space as someone who's been in the agri space for so many years, right? Give it a name, right? I was speaking earlier about, I did a blog earlier last week on talking about redefining your why, and why that was so very important. It was very compelling because it tells me that you will get to a place sometimes where you are tired of chasing everything, but that you just want to chase what's important right now. What's important right now in the climate that we're living in. It's no different than it was when I was teaching kids sustainable living, when I was teaching them how to set their tables, to be good presenters over, the things that they cared about. Even if that was cooking a good loin, um, you know, uh, learning how to tie a good knot to fish on your fishing pole to fish for good food, or how to start and corner the market in a business right away, just by seeing what the people's needs were with children, and getting certified in those areas of, teaching children how to become entrepreneurs. It was all in the industry of agriculture. So what's important to me right now, as someone who has been an advocate, a caretaker, a speaker, writer, all the researcher, teacher, all the things, advocate, just all around the world, teaching and sharing, the wisdom that I have been able to achieve, right? So what's important right now was the big thing, and I began to talk to AI about that, right? So what it let me know is that content is your currency, and how you use that content will give you the traction that you need, right? Your story. Andrea, hello. I'm doing good. I had a field trip today with AI and it was so much fun. So I'm talking about that today. So, what was AI to me? This is an important thing for those of you who are in business or desire to be in business, whether it's agribusiness or some other business. It if it's your desire to use your knowledge, your understanding, and your wisdom for something, here's what I want to leave with you. AI, number one, is a multiplier. It did all this work, sent me on this field trip today. All these things that I gave content, it gave back to me today. I spent my entire day in stores taking photos that it told me to take. It was the most beautiful thing, from store to store, and how to take the photos, the lighting, what to photo, how to, if I put myself in it, make sure my hand is, grabbing at this, or, grouping things together. It was the most beautiful thing. So it doesn't replace, it's not replacing me in any way. What it's doing is amplifying who and I am and what it is that I do, based off of information, first of all, that I gave to it, right? Remember, it can only do with what information you gave it to do, okay? So you do not allow it to control you, because when I did my research and it didn't follow my command, I told it was not following instructions, okay? Because as a researcher, I asked you to do something and you did what you wanted to do. And so you have to have a relationship, build a relationship with this creative thing that is there to scrape the internet in 5 minutes. Scrape it. Even research. Okay? So, what are some examples of stuff, examples of things that it can do for you? It can give you field footage. Field footage. Field footage was what I did today. Blog posts, for reels, for your intros to your videos. Because I asked it, of course. Well, if I don't want to show up AI, if I don't want to show up as um, to do an intro, because a lot of times I be blowing it. My script, I will blow it and have to do it 100 times, and it won't look real. And what I like most is I like to be authentic. I like to be myself. I forget sometimes. Sometimes I feel comfortable saying what I'm saying. Sometimes I don't. And I think that that's many people's story, is they think that people are just absolutely perfect, and they are absolutely not flawless. I need us to understand that many of them are using tools that are right in front of them that make it look as if they are speaking this thing every day in a way, and they're not reading it. Right? Right? But I believe in showing up with all of my bleeps and blunt. Is that what they call it? Bleeps and blunders, right? So, but it gave me all this footage. And what else? As a multiplier, it saved me time and stretched my efforts. Today was the top of the week. And with all that's going on in my life right now, with my brother being ill, and so much going on in the world, and just trying to figure things out and transition through life. Aaron's about to come through. I'm saying, Father, just what can I do? And I already know that I've been using AI since it started. I'm an AI tech person myself. I mean, AI is technology. It's technology we've already been using. They just gave it a name, okay? So let's be clear. All right? Yeah, Andrea, he is slight progress, not a lot. Slight progress. They have transferred him to another special hospital for neurology. Um, but I'm just praying, just praying that I know that he's got a lot more living to do, and I believe that if God gave him another chance, that he will not hesitate to tell that story this time. If God has ever told you to do something and you didn't do it, and you wish you had, Please pray for him. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was what my day was looking like. And so then I came back, and while I was on my journey to the stores, I said, okay, I'm on my way to the store. What should I tell my audience? Because I haven't posted today, AI. So I'm on this field trip today. What should I say to them? So here's what I want you all to do. I want you all to make sure that you subscribe to my channel and join me in the community, because if you are a subscriber a subscriber, then you are able to get into the community. You're able to make a post. You're able to ask a question. And so I encourage you to do that. And here's another question that I have for you. If you were able, what could you document today? What could you document today? Because we are not utilizing these tools enough to grow the things and to increase our revenue. Listen, I've been telling people for years that their jobs were not secure. Everything that I have been sharing with folks about developing a pathway, developing your signature brand, never leaving yourself behind. Brand your knowledge, your understanding, and your wisdom, and the wisdom to apply it. But you must show up the way you expect other people to show up. So that is why I come here all the time. I believe in showing up with all of my flaws, with my authentic self, because I don't know how to be anything other than, I am a mother of a baby boomer who is a mother of Gen X YZ. Gen X YZ. It could be a whole song, right? Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. If you are a believer out there, saved and filled with the Holy Ghost, please plan to agree with me that my brother will have a full recovery. So I also encourage you to go into the community. I go into the community that I developed for us to, this is a movement, grow your own economy from the soil up. That's what we're doing over here. We're going to be talking about not food sovereignty, moving through economic empowerment, making our own bread, how to save, all the tools that our grandmothers taught us, right? So that we can keep more of our money. Black Wall Street. Remember? Like Black Wall Street, right? So I want you to go into the community and post one thing. Plus test AI to repurpose it. I want you to try posting one thing and test AI to repurpose it. Or we can do it together. And then I invite you to follow my journey and connect with me here in the community on my YouTube channel, growing our own economy from the soil up. We are creating sustainable living, right? And we want to move towards sovereignty as good stewards over everything that God has given us stewardship over. He trusts us with some things. He trusted us with some things. And in many ways, we have all failed. But we have a chance today to get it right. Make cheddar garlic herb biscuits. I would love for you to post a picture of them. Put that in the community, Andrea. Visit the community and tell us what you did today, right? What could you document today? How can you use that, Andrea? You said you don't like to get in front of a camera, but you could show us how you made those biscuits. I made the Red Lobster. You know, Red Lobster has a recipe that's on the back of the Bisquick box, and I made those before, right? So that's what we want to do. And so, in closing, my field trip today was proof of the vision. When you as I begin to roll out these as I begin to roll out the strategy, I want you all to comment. I want you to tell me what your thoughts are, because it was my homework. I'm chasing the vision, right? I'm just going to chase the vision for right now. No, not everything, just what God has assigned me to in this season, and that is to help my brothers and sisters to fight the famine. Fight the famine and grow your own food, keep more of your money, do, check out some of your grandma's old recipes and all the things. So thank you all for being a part of the community and for showing up for me and letting me know how valuable you think this content is. And remember that to stay alive over here in this YouTube community requires engagement. Engagement from all of you. And first of all, if you showed up here and you liked the post and you stayed and you subscribed, that's good right there. That's the first, because that's free, y'all. That is so free. That is so free, and sharing is caring. And so, again, I appreciate all of you who have been on this journey with me. I have done so many videos in the last few months, every day, just coming live, because I know um, as a leader in the health and human service space by trade, the importance of group and social support in all the ways that we can show up to support one another. So what did AI ask me after I asked it to give me those key points? Because look, I wasn't coming up here because I learned so much today, and I was like, oh my God, I will be scatterbrained trying to tell them everything that I learned. But when you see the pictures come out, you will see. It's asked me the final question it asked me of the day after all the work we did together. It said, would you like me to also spin this into a carousel post? So everything that we talked about and all the ways that we engaged today, it always asks me ways of how it can help me. Would I like for it to? And I'll be like, sure, because I want to see what it come up with, right? And if it come up with something good, which I believe that it will, because 99% of the time it has come up with some really good stuff. It said, would you like me to come up, would you like me to spin this into a carousel, a post outline? You can drop before or after your live. Now, so I could have put out something before the live. Y'all know what I didn't do? I didn't read to the end. You see how I could have done a whole promotion. I could have done an entire promotion and said, meet me on YouTube at such and such and such a time. But because I'm such a random liver, which I need to get better at, because it says that people want to know when to expect you, right? But I can't truly lock myself into a time because I, I'm trying to build structure for real, right? So working on my infrastructure, right? As I work on that. But I could have posted it before. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say yes. Give me that carousel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that carousel and lead people back to this video. Does that make sense? So I could have led them before, but I like to have information to lead them back to the video after I've done the video. That makes more sense to me. Not only that, but whatever it prepares for me or gives me ideas to do, then I will use it as my thumbnail. You see, because I'm always like, oh God, now I got to go through this whole video and figure out which one of these pictures, what should I do to make a thumbnail, right? So it is a process. It's a lot of work to think and do this on your own, but with AI's assistance and talking through, what am I going to do tomorrow? It already told me, do a hands-on post tomorrow. Show them a technique. So I don't have to guess about what I'm going to do because it's giving me the content to go ahead and do tomorrow that will be really easy. And it don't have to be longer than 5 minutes. It said this post don't have to be longer than 10 minutes, but I've been here 35 because why? Because I decided to give you the behind the scenes of what AI and I had to talk about today. I didn't just come here and utilize the key points for discussion, but I had a candid conversation with you that what AI and I did together today. Because I believe that there are some of you out there who have an idea and you would like to flourish. You would like to earn some more revenues. You would like to do something unique with that idea. You would like to blog or short film. Maybe you would like to bake a cake like my girl Andrea. She loves to bake cakes. She don't even have to get in front of the camera. Just bake the cake and let them see your hands baking all the steps silently. There are silent YouTubers who have thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers. And in the comments, people are saying, why aren't you talking? Or they may have questions. And then eventually they come out and they have a YouTube about the Q&A of the silent YouTubers. It was their tactic. They did not want to be, on face to face until they felt comfortable enough to do so. So in my opinion, it was all about building community, and that is what it's all about. YouTube is giving an opportunity to small creators, right? And I see myself as a small creator, right? On this platform, but I'm a global leader, but I'm still small. I know that there's so much more that I could be doing. And so God is really showing me how to be intentional in this season. Slow down. You don't have to do a lot. You have been there and you've done that. You have been on the front line for a long time. Repurpose all the things that you've learned as a leader and give your wisdom back to the YouTube community in a very authentic way. So that's my reflection for today. It's been an awesome day, a great way to keep my mind busy with all that that is happening right now, all the uncertainty. But I will never, let me tell you something, even when I feel the least bit, I say I am not going to let my eyes cancel what God said, okay? Because I'm a believer. And so we must stand firm on what we believe, to help us carry us through, faith, more faith, faith and more faith, faith and more faith that God's going to do exactly what he said. And even at 62, there's room for me to be and scale my business in ways that I can never imagine. And I don't have to do it alone, right? I don't have to have a big old scene. I don't have to have a big old team. I don't have to pay a whole lot of people because I literally have available to me resources that are free. So some are not, and then some are, but the thing about free is people typically don't show up for themselves when they don't pay for something, and I know that to be true. But If only you would believe in yourself enough to utilize what's available to you to grow in the ways into the promise that he said he had for you. I'm Dr. Eve, everyone. Over here on my channel, we talk about all things sustainable living for well-being and how to build a strong economy from the soil up. There is a lot coming here on my channel, and if you would like to learn more, please subscribe to my channel right now. Like, subscribe, share, and also make a comment in the community. So if there's a question that you might have about how to use AI, we're going to be talking about that because it's important, because it's a multiplier, y'all. It made, listen, when I used it in my research, it made what it took me almost a year to do in my interviews for my dissertation. I was able to do it in a couple of weeks for a paper that I wrote. Unbelievable. So when I tell you it is a multiplier, but you have to use it and not let it use you. Okay, you gotta be clear. We gotta be clear. All right, Andrea says, do you have an Aldi's grocery store near you? Yes, I do. I do go to Aldi sometimes, but for the most part, I try to stay out the supermarket. I try to make what I have to go to the supermarket for. If it's peanut butter, why not just grow some peanuts? Whatever it is. If it's pesto, why not grow some basil and make some pesto? It's like, what are these things made out? What are the things that I enjoy made out of? And if so, can I grow that in my garden? Absolutely. She says, but when you have to shop, I go to Aldi's. They have some good organic products there. They absolutely do, Andrea. They absolutely do. And you are not the only person who has said that to me. So that's confirmation that I might need to take a trip to Aldi's. As a matter of fact, my baby girl said that to me. She said, you need to go to Aldi's. Because I went to the market the other day to buy some spices, pesto, some stuff that I don't have in my cabinet, not pesto, but miso, and some other spices that were Indian, Asian Indian common spices. $86 for 6 items. But I had to put them in my cabinet. I had to, because the serving sizes on these things and their ability to make something out of nothing is just too good. So I bought them anyway. But thank you for that tip. I'm going to go and do a tour, and maybe I'll do a supermarket video. That's a good idea, Andrea. I might do a supermarket video. So we can see prices, like what it costs me to grow this versus, and now I can make, now that I've got 10 pounds of this, I can make how much of that? Yes. All right. Go and have a wonderful time. Talk soon. I'll be back tomorrow for a couple minutes. Have the most amazing night. Whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who God has called you to become in this season. Have the most amazing evening. Bye for now.